So the video that you want to watch on the other side is me. I speak really super fast in this video. It's me just giving you the TLDR of what's going on in the United States. The long version, it's 25 minutes. I talk very long. I talk very fast. You have options. You can either slow it down using a cog on the wheel, or you can read the subtitles. It goes from topic to topic. It may not be for you. If you can do me a favor and let it play, if you realize, oh my God, she's talking too fast, don't click off. Let it play in the background if you can. That'd be great. Share it with someone who can, who might be able to follow along with a fast talker. So here's the long version. I cracked the code of what's going on in the United States for those of you concerned. It's two different sides that are battling. One side is going to be represented in this video by Tom Homan's neighbors in his summer house in Sacklets Harbor, New York. So their interest in what's going on and their concerns are going to represent the people of the United States. On the other side, you have a man who is the president who only ran to avoid prison because up until his run, he was being prosecuted for stealing our top secret documents to try to sell it to who knows well, tried to subvert the will of the people. He incited an insurrection. He led one. He knew very well he'd lose. He lost the 2020 because Jack Smith, who was investigating him for at least two of these crimes, have lots of evidence that he knew, but he was just grifting. So that's on the side. So since he's been in office, he's just been trying to create a fake legacy by slapping his name on all sorts of stuff. Coins, pamphlets, arcs, ballrooms, destroying things, grifting, stealing, taking bribes, enriching himself, trying to avoid us learning what the nasty things that he's alleged to have done, despite various different complainants. Corroborated accounts of children who said that they did things that were unimaginable to be done to a child. But that's basically a toddler. I'm old enough that those are toddlers this man was having to do, according to the allegations, allegedly not necessarily substantiated, but just summarized in the data dump that just came out recently. It's Friday. So that's the helm. Someone who's cognitively declined, just makes a lot of gaffes left and right, don't seem to know what's going on. It's falling apart before our eyes, swelling, fluctuating, just bursting ankles, just a hot, mess. So he's just a figurehead. But who's pulling strings, and again, I'm on this side, a loose conglomeration of folks. I say it includes the techno bros, it includes the crypto bros who just want some cryptocurrency they just want to make money. The finance bros, the companies that just want deregulation, they're on that side. And they're jockeying for power all the time. They're not necessarily coordinated, but in terms of the immigration crackdown, you have the Christian fascists. They're the ones, Project 2025, Russell Vote, they're the ones that are trying to purge the United States, ethnically cleanse it, make it a Christian nationalist nation, do whatever they can to they're annoyed by all the laws that allow people to come here in the United States, stay here, establish roots, develop families, grow, and then just stay forever, and then change the nation, the complexion, the culture of the nation. It's a multicultural country. It started this way after the settlers came in and smoothed over the natives that were here first and imported some other people of color. So in true imperialist, colonialist fashion, the United States started as a colony, but then, learned from the colonizers and started doing the same thing and importing labor and created caste systems based on race and built a nation for themselves on the backs of those people from Africa and using land that was initially didn't even belong to them. So here we are. And now they see themselves by 2037, the stats say that they're going to be the minority. And they don't like that shit. So this is like inspection burst. Donald Trump, first time tried to do it, he wasn't necessarily successful. So in between, Merrick Garland failed. Joe Biden, all the people, the Democrats in office, slow walk, but they should have locked this man up a long time ago. By the time they were close to it, too late, the guy came back in. So that's what he's been doing. And in between the first term and second term, crazy zealot Russell Vote, who was the Office of Management and Budget, who shouldn't have been given that job the second time, considering the fact when he had the job the first time, he impounded lots of funds. And they were warned about this. The Republicans were warned, but they went on and greenlit Donald Trump's entire ban and sickle. If you don't know what the hell they're doing. They know so little what they're doing. When Donald Trump says destroyed Department of Education, Linda McMahon said, how high, how fast can I do it? So, and then, then there's people just don't, Health and Human Services. This guy's a former heroin addict with a worm in his brain. And he's playing Battleship. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's he's an admitted alcoholic, alleged wife beater with white nationalist tattoos all over his body and skated in on the thinnest margin. He won by one vote. They had to pull, J.D. Vance out of his vacation at Disney World to come launch the vote in order for him to get the job. Tulsi Gabbard, she's a alleged, according to Hillary Clinton, is a spy, Russian spy.
And then you have, who else you got there? You got RFK, you got Christy Nome, who's just trying to be cute, put on costumes. She don't know what she's doing. She doesn't like her job. She doesn't want to do nothing FEMA stuff. She just wants to dress up, get extensions, lip plumps, and just, and pose in front of a prison. She doesn't know what habeas corpus is. She doesn't know what FEMA is. So just folks, and they messing up. Pam Bondi, she was never a federal prosecutor. I don't know what the hell she did in Florida, but she's here just violating law, putting people in office that don't belong there, ignoring laws. She's not doing anything. So that's what you got on the other side. So, and the Christian fascists are just, and then you got the techno bros. I forgot about them. They have God complexes. They think they know what solve the world. They don't know what government does. They don't know the extent to which government enables them to live their lives comfortably. The regulation allows them to eat their organic food, and organic food is safe because we have the FDA. And when they go to their beach houses in Malibu and they expect it, they don't fall through the cracks because OSHA standards are there. Like, that's government. So Elon Musk coming in to dismantle government that enable his life to live well. But they so silly, and they're disconnected to reality. They're disconnected to personal connections, and they don't understand community. So they just think that they could just come up with this crazy plan, aka via Curtis Jarvin, and people are just going to fall in line. Same thing with the Christian fascists. They don't understand humanity. They're just zealots. They're just pushing through their agenda, no matter how many people they hurt and kill or dismantle, how many things, because they just, on the other end, they see what they want, and they don't realize a lot of people don't want what they want. So the techno bros, they're like, we got this machine here, Palantir. It's making this machine. We can track everybody. If someone else says, hey, we got a machine, you could take pictures, we're going to cross-reference the database. Elon says, all right, great. Give me and put me in coach. I'm going to doge it. I'm going to go plug in some stuff. I'm going to use his SS, Social Security, the IRS data, and then y'all job is to try to get the voter rolls. So they're going through asking for the voter rolls. And the courts are like, you can't have the damn voter rolls. And so they're like, shit, okay, we're going to go take it. So they try to take it in Georgia. And they said, all right, we're going to beat up the blue states. And then if they don't cooperate, we say, okay, we're going to leave if you give us your voter rolls. That's when Pam Bondi gave up the ghost and kind of like said, hey, we leave if you give us your voter rolls. She kind of played the hands. People were like, aha, so it's about data. Fuck no, we still fight. Minnesotans like, nah, you ain't getting our voter rolls. Vote of these. So, yeah, so she just exposed what they want to do with it. But here's the thing, if you're a MAGA, you shouldn't want that. You MAGA's just saying, yeah, y'all defending Donald Trump. Donald Trump calls y'all to leave every single thing you thought you stood for. Big government, he's in everything. Laissez-faire private sector, he's trying to tell the private sector what to do, what to invest in, what not. He's asking for a piece of the pie. Then you said Christian values. No, the man had affairs with a porn star while his wife was pregnant, and he had like 4 or 5 kids, all out of married. He cheated on all of them, and he's alleged to have done the stuff he's done. So family values is out. Then you say, well, we like states' rights. He's kind of just bullying the states, going through, sitting in, militarizing the states, attacking the states, defunding states based on whether or not they're ideologically aligned with him or not. So states' rights, nope, you lost that. What else? And y'all say y'all so small government, states' rights, religious, no, pro-police, no law, because January 6th says y'all don't care about the police. So you're not law and order. And then also the man that you're following, this entire administration break laws every single day. Every single one from the top to bottom, they're breaking laws. They're breaking federal laws. So you're not law and order. Last one we thought y'all going to hold on to, Second Amendment. This man said you can't have your guns. He said you can't take your guns. He forgot the fact that these daggone open carry and closed carry permit holders in the United States take their guns everywhere. And they've taken them to protest loudly and boldly up and over. Alex Preddy had his in the back pocket. Now they're talking about, well, he didn't have his license. So y'all trying to say the government can tell you if you don't have your license, you can't take your guns. Y'all take your guns to the store. Y'all take your guns every single where. If anyone gone to open carry state in America, they have their guns blazing. They take guns. It's a gun-loving country. Every single time there is a mass shooting and we say it's the guns, they say, no, it's not the gun, it's the people. All of a sudden, Donald Trump said it's the gun. So y'all saying that Alex Preddy deserved to die because he had a gun. Because that's the only reason. They saw the gun and they shot him and killed him. He wasn't going for it, he wasn't reaching for it. So it was the gun that caused him to kill it. So all of a sudden, now the gun is a problem. So y'all lost the Second Amendment. Y'all lost entire goals. You lost every single thing you stood for Donald Trump. And then you think about it, you did all of that because you want him to be able to create this massive database. This massive database that Palantir is creating for him. Palantir, when they created this database, they admitted that it could be used against the United States government. It can be used against the United States citizen. So when he leaves the office, when he goes and is out of there, the database that he built for the United States government, now the United States government can use that against you, MAGA. They can identify where you are or who has a bunker, who ever made a threat to a person of color, whoever made a threat to a representative. So as the Democrats take over the House and Senate, and y'all are sitting up there making your threats, and the database that y'all helping man create is going to be tracking it. So we're going to know where the threats is coming from. So when they retake the House, you sure you want to keep supporting that? You better go call and say, no, stop this and jump ship quick. You have one last chance to maintain your self-dignity. So that's what's going on. I've just decracked the code, and I didn't even talk about Howard Lutnick's side. Tom Homan's side. Let me tell you about Tom. On the other side, you have the people. Who's represented by the people? Last April, Tom Homan lives in Sackett's Harbor, New York. They took a family member. Tom Homan lied and said, they came in to do, so on the other side, they went in to go do an inspection. They took this mom and 4 kids. The town rallied around them. Even paraded past Tom Homan's home. They called him out. He said he has nothing to do with it. He can't release them. They said, well, why not? He said, well, they take the kids because they were trying to do it for the kids' protection, just in case they knew something about the person they went to target. And the teacher went on record to say that's absolutely not true. I teach those children. I'm in their schools. At no point did anybody ask about their mental capacity. They didn't have any testing, anything related to being abused. So you're lying. Eventually, he was able to bring the family loose. And this was last April. So how was he able to do that? Because did he feel the pressure? But he was aware that in the article that covered the family, there were quotes. Some of them quoted the Bible. Some of them said that some of our neighbors work for Border Patrol and work for ICE. And we thought they were nice people. Now that we see what's going on, now that we see the capacity, now that we see that they're actually taking people that are family, that have been living here, established for a long time, we're not quite sure we like them after all. We're not sure that they like what they're doing. They told us they're going after the criminals. They said they talked to the House of Representatives and their senators. They're Republican senators that they all voted in. This is a Republican town. They voted for these people. They said we can't get access to them. They're not speaking to us. So they're not answering. Because you said you're going to go after criminals. These are not criminals. We do not want long-standing members of our society. We do not want the teachers. We do not want the Uber drivers. We do not want the Instacart delivery person. We do not want our children's classmates. We don't want the folks who work at the hotels. We don't want none of those people that you're targeting going after. We don't want any of them who've been living here for years and years, contributing to society, contributing to the Social Security Fund, contributing to the sales tax, the federal income tax. It's a lot of them can't take back. And just minding their business. The children just living their lives comfortably, not really bothering anyone, just living, just existing. And you're going to come up in and dismantle them and take them from the community? Why? And you said there's going to be criminals? What's going on? And then the day what's going on is that there are no criminals. What they're doing is they're applying, this is the Project 2025 agenda. They said they don't want anyone in the country that's not American and not permanent resident. So there are people in the United States in the law, lawfully, whether the temporary protective status, because something happened in their country, the United States decided, well, based on what's going on in your country, whether it's in Nicaragua, Haiti, Afghanistan, South Sudan, all these countries that have war-torn things, they said, well, based on what's going on in your country, you can come here temporarily until the matter is resolved. And you have refugees, rather than just blankets of people for specific countries. If you flee, you individual basis as a refugee can come here and take refuge because we're a member of the world. We're part of United Nations says if you have a refugee, someone fleeing persecution, fleeing some sort of disaster in their town, you can take them in. So as a member of the United Nations, we took in people and we take in refugees. We also take in people on asylum who are escaping persecution specifically to them because of what they believe. And they can apply for asylum, and that's a permanent way for you to live in the United States. So Project 2025 does not like asylum seekers, refugees, do not like TPS status. And so a lot of people come to the United States unlawfully. Eventually, they pivot and they shift and they apply for one of those 3 statuses. While they're applying for 1 3 statuses, a lot of times the people and the judges see they're decent people to give them work permit, allow them to stay there in line. So the minute they get a paperwork in their line, they're no longer undocumented. So these people are checking in. These people are going in. They're not the worst of the worst. These are folks that are just holding up to a United States law. They're doing it the right way. And Project 2025 was like, fuck that. We don't want none of them. We don't want shot even if you're doing it right. We don't like the law that lets you do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go arrest you. Even the minute, and we're going to try to apply a law, and we're going to go to the judge. When the judge says, what's the basis of you arresting them? And why are you trying to detain them? Because there's a law that says if someone comes in within a border, within 14 days, you don't have to let them loose, because if you set them loose, they may just leave and never come back. And so there's a policy called catch and release. When you catch them and you release them and hope they come back, what happened is a lot of folks never came back. So they changed the law that says no more. If you come in and they catch you within 14 days of you entering unlawfully, you just get deported. That's why Barack Obama and Joe Biden deported more people. And they said, well, how come Barack Obama and Joe Biden were able to deport people? Because they just came in and went right back out. They're not deporting. They never deported people who have been established living here a long time. In order for them to do that, they have to leave the border with the law that allows them to do that and come to the interior. That law was only meant for those folks. The other thing, in order for them to detain you, is you have to have active removal, or you have to be a criminal, and there's to be signs, signs that this person's going to leave. So someone who has a criminal, like outstanding criminal warrant, or they have a removal order, or they came in with a border. The law explicitly says the policy is discretionary. And so for years and years, we've never applied it. The discretion always been to give them the benefit of the doubt and let them loose, especially if they've been in the countries for 2 years. That has been the policy. The Trump administration tried to change the policy without going through the proper process. You have to do this thing called Administrative Procedure Act. When you have a full notice of comment period and you have the public comment. You can't just change the laws. You got to actually have a basis for it. And you have to have a process. They didn't follow the process. They just changed it. So now we're going to apply, rather than do discretionary and what we normally do if they're here for 2 years and let them just have a bond hearing. A bond hearing is where you can just say, I'll pay a certain money, like $1,500 or whatever, and I get let loose, and I maybe have an ankle monitor or some sort of alternative to jail. That's what we normally do. They changed the law to make it mandatory, but they didn't change the law. They changed it administratively, and that's not how you have to go through a process. They never did the process. So the judges, the federal judges, have said, we're not acknowledging that. We're not recognizing that. We're recognizing the old way. You didn't change it the proper way. So every single person they arrest based no warrant. So they get dismissed, not just because they're trying to apply the law that says that, they're trying to say, well, they're mandatory detention. It's kind of like you weren't supposed to have them in the first place. Because if you wanted to go after them, you need to get a warrant from a federal judge. Then you go after them. And then after you go after them, you can make that argument. But they never get there because they take them without a warrant. So majority of people that they took this weekend, a good chunk of them, including and over the past since they made this surge, they took a pregnant woman while she was in the middle of nursing her baby, 5-month-old pregnant woman. Then they deported her and took away from her baby and sent her to Texas. She's nursing her baby. So they took away from her 5-month-old newborn, and she had 4 other kids. She's a nurse who came to this country when we had a nursing shortage. They took a pregnant woman. She was going her way to work. They followed her. Then they went home, detained her husband, her 2 kids. There was a man that they just refused to leave in the hospital. None of these people had the warrants for. The hospital people say, let this man go. We need to take care of him. They said, no, we're not leaving them by the side. It turns out they didn't even have a warrant for this guy. They were just denying him care. They didn't know how. They said, he ran into a brick wall. They beat up this man, cracked his head because he was running away from them. He got injured, and now he's declining. And when the hospital was like, what's going on? They didn't have any answers. So there's lots and lots of cases like that. They're just brutal, just doing sorts of stuff. Then you have the woman who's 70 years old. They detained her. They're keeping in her. She's been in this country for 26 years. She was escaping persecution. She has an active refugee claim. And she's without her medicine. She's declining health. She's 79 years old. They just have her there. Then you have the man who, there's a Somali who they said, there's a package for you. They knocked on the door. Remember I talked about ruses? He went to go open up the door to get the package. They just bang him on the head and they bring him in. No warrant. There was a Ukrainian man. They said, they sent him a letter and said, we have to meet with you. He's like, who sent me this letter? They tricked him. He goes there, they arrest him. He is Ukrainian. He's here in the active status. None of these people have anything that's expired. They're checking in. They're doing what they're supposed to do. There's cases and cases and cases like that. Rosaline, NK, she is Kenyan. They found her when she was going to get her medication for seizure, and they detained her. She also been living in the country for 20 years. All these people living there beyond 2 years. None of these people had arrest warrants. None of these people have active removal proceedings. All these people have active pending cases, and they detain them and try to keep them and apply the border law to them, and without warrants. So the judges were like, get the hell out of there. They all got sprung. They sprung all these people from the jail this weekend and recently. And this was, shout out to Kyle Cheney, who was tracking all these. Shout out to Anne Renee 411 on Threads, who tracks a lot of these cases. I follow her. And so the chief judge, who is he was appointed by George W. Bush, who is a super conservative. He was clerk twice for Antonin Scalia, who's super, super conservative. He was Amy Coney Barrett, the conservative justice's mentor. When it was law school, the leftist. He was talking about the liberals. So he's one of their guys. Their guys were like, what the hell? You've exhausted my bench. You've exhausted my judges with all this bullshit. There's 100 lawsuits, court orders. When we tell them, don't do this, you do this. When the judges say, let them free, you know what they do? It's too late. They send those people, they arrest them without a warrant, and they take them to Texas, and they try to make them sign things to self-deport. And they try to separate them from the judges and their lawyers so they can't defend themselves. And that's how a lot of people got deported. Any deportation, a lot of them, they just strong-arm them. The people have rights. They came into the interior. They had the rights to say, I've been here 2 years. I have an active case. I shouldn't be deported. They violated every single person they deported who had an active case, who they sent away, were wrongfully deported. They tricked them. They forced them. They lied. There was a case where they were deporting these Africans. This guy asked for a lawyer. They took him, put him in a straitjacket, threw him in the middle of the center. This is in the dockets, some of the dockets. And the other prisoners saw that, and they were like, that's what's going to happen to you if you ask for a lawyer. One person tripped up. They just doing all sorts of stuff. They shackled these Africans, put them in straitjackets, and dumped them in another country, and signed agreements with these crazy countries that have civil rights violations against them that are horrible. They're not safe third parties, and they tell them you sent them to the countries because our asylum laws stop us from doing it, and they're paying money. We're paying our tax dollars for people to violate UN Convention Against Torture. So that's what's going on. I cracked the code. No one likes it. American test. So no one likes what they're doing. Again, like I said, Tom Homan's town, lakefront vacation town neighborhood, Sackett's Harbor, represent the American people. Do not agree, accept that they're people who've been in the interior who are long-standing, like disrupting. You saw them take a baby, a 5-year-old, use a 5-year-old to lure away his dad. It turns out there's 3,600 children under 5, just like Liam Campbell's in these facilities. I told you follow me on TikTok because they're illegal. I'm the dockets. I follow the lawsuits filed against the Trump administration, those the Trump administration filed against others to give you a sense of calm and take you beyond the headlines. One of the things I've shared with you before is that they try to take a bunch of Honduran and Guatemalan kids who are just minding their business. They have foster families, doing nothing, existing, going to school, happy. These kids have previously been trafficked. We have laws that protect them. They're protected by a specific law. And the Trump administration tried to remove them and lie and say that they asked to go back or their parents wanted to go back or the nations asked for them back. Total lie. Just made it up. They just wanted to get rid of them. That's the Christian fascist. That is Stephen Miller, who I'm always going to remind them that Stephen Miller's great-great-great-grandparents came from Belarus, escaping persecution. And so just like a lot of people, a lot of these the ancestors of these white people left Italy, left Germany, left all these different places, escaping someplace, came to the United States, settled here. And now their descendants are trying to say no mas. Descendants are trying to stake claim on land the United States took over from another people. Like, get out of here with that. So it was all up to Stephen Miller doing this nonsense. He's crazy. Anyway, so people don't sign up for that. People don't like that. Trying to deport babies. Trying to just take away people and just remove folks. And folks are like, no, that's not true. So they're violating the law every single day. Every single day. It's a criminal, lawless regime. Every single thing they've done, when they say stuff like, we're trying to keep out the criminals, you all are the criminals. You guys have lost the plot. You guys are the villains. I don't know if you don't know it. I don't know how they keep up with themselves. And we do know that all of the cabinet members, the ones who have all spoke out against Donald Trump, like I said before, Tulsi Gabbard, Marco Rubio for certain, Pete Hegseth, Kristi Noem, RFK Jr., all of them have spoke out against Donald Trump at some time. J.D. Vance has called him like the Antichrist or something like that. So they know what he's doing. They're just grifters. They're just thinking about their personal careers. They're just thinking about their own ambitions, and that's it. And so it don't matter. And how do they get through it? I don't know. But we do know that some of them engage in some extracurricular activities. So we see them engage in extracurricular. We see the effects of it. We're just like, that's how you get through these things of being cruel. It's lawless. It's like, I don't understand what world did they not realize that no one signed up for this. It looks bad. They're destroying the esteem of the United States worldwide. Everyone's looking at us around the country like, oh my God, you guys have really devolved. But it's because we have this goon-like, thug-like, mob boss guy who's the horrible character, but he's cognitively declined, fluctuating in pooping, smelly. I don't know how Melania, she's not a victim, by the way. Melania is a birther. Stop victimizing, trivializing, and emphasizing Melania. And same thing with Barron. Barron's behind in this too. I mean, y'all were trying to like say, I feel sorry for Barron. No, they're making off. They're part of the grift, the whole family. The whole lawless criminals. And now we see that the Ivanka and Eric, if you've seen the latest drop, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, they're the villains. And I don't know how they don't realize at some point there's going to be an end. This man is 79 years old. He's on his way out. And in America, unless he's building a bunker, unless he's planning on building a bunker because he's trying to go over and he's about to let Vladimir Putin just come over and just bomb the United States and kill us all. And that's why he's building that bunker in the bottom east ballroom. If that's not going to happen, I hope not, knock on wood, then y'all time is going to come to an end. I see a lot of y'all running off the military bases, off the military to protect you. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But we'll see. It could be possible that y'all have plans to leave someplace else because you're not escaping this world without being accountable at some point, especially when the Democrats, and then the Democrats are going to come in, aren't going to be like the feckless, kindly worded letters one. It's going to be the Jasmine Crockett type of folks. We're going to have, imagine an AG Letitia James. Imagine an AG Jack Smith. Imagine a Senator Jasmine Crockett. Imagine who else? Alex Padilla. Who was the other one? Garcia, Representative Garcia, in charge of Homeland Security or something, or a state. And imagine all the people who've been having the balls and going after y'all serious when they get in office and they're the ones in the top. Imagine that stuff. Like, that's what you got coming for you. So anyway, so that's what it is. I cracked the code, so that's what they're doing. And it's a massive just extinction burst. They're like a rapid, like raccoon backed into a corner, and they're just frantic, and they just like can't stand the fact that they're going to be the minority soon, and they fear that we're going to do the same thing to them what they did to us, and that's not true. We're kind people. We're not going to do the same thing. They know what they did to when they were the minorities. When y'all the minorities in South Africa, y'all did some crazy things. You're the majority in other countries, you do the same things. When you're in your country living peacefully, you go leave your freaking UK, leave your France, leave your Spain, leave your Portugal, and go elsewhere. There's people of color existing peacefully, and go try to interject your standards of beauty, reject their religions, call them sorts of names, try to dehumanize them, take over their land, separate them, divide them up to conquer, colonize them, leave them in shambles. It's like an abusive boyfriend. So, I forgot, rape and pillage and steal all their stuff. Put them in your museums. So you know what you did. You know what you did when you're in the minority. You know what you did in the majority. You know what you did when you're comfortable and you see other people existing elsewhere that you want to go conquer. And so you know the history of what you come from. And so you're like, shit, what happens when we're the minority? We're not going to do that stuff. We're kind people. We can coexist. We have always. We're welcoming. We're warm. So stop all this stuff if that's what you're doing that for. If that's all this is for. Anyway, end of the day, the technical bros, they're just stupid. They're just there. They have power. They're just greedy. And it's stupid. That's why when they lose money for the stock or they lose their crypto money, I was like, that's what you get. And they think they're smart. It's like, y'all not smart. Y'all think y'all know everything. That's why I get mad about the startup culture, because startup is like, have only these white and Asian people doing all the startup stuff. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They can't solve all world problems. They have God complexes. Ugh. Anyway, I'm going to end here with maybe possibly with a roundup of crazy stuff that techno people have said. And then I'm going to include here the Russell Vogt, the stuff he said about wanting the nation to be Christian fascist and saying that Donald Trump was aware that of Project 2025, he's all for it. And they knew it was going to polled bad when he was running. That's why he ran away from it. It was unpopular. So are you surprised that the Saggets, Harbor, New Yorks are against it? Because y'all had to know because it was polling bad when he was running. So I'm going to play that on the outro, this conglomeration. It's something to leave and talk about. Let's discuss below. JJ Lee, each one teach one. I hope you enjoy this kitchen podcast. No receipts because I don't know time. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. I just wanted to put that out there. If I do the receipts, I'd be here forever. I'm trying to just get up and just publish and not have to do receipts all the time. Share this video so more people know. I'm trying to grow this account. I'm almost at 50K. I'm trying to get to 50K on YouTube. The goal is 100K on YouTube. And you can get my Know Your Rights cards. You can actually have a Trump Survivor kit at jjlegal.com. You can get my merch. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's below. Sign up for my newsletter, which you get Know Your Rights card, access to court dockets, and scripts for free. You can also sign up and get my merch or buy me a coffee or join my Substack, my Patreon, my YouTube communities, where I give insights like this, but unique, targeted insight just for strategies. I'm going to give our strategies publicly. All right, thanks so much. Take care. Oh, there's no bye. I'm going to put a playlist here. So keep learning from me. I'm going to put my kitchen podcast playlist here.